non-believers.
How did that?
To all the non-believers, especially you, Tom Jackson. Way to have our back, Keyshawn. Anybody can be beat.
Guys, welcome back to Jets Field. Today I'm going to be giving you a preview of this Week 2 AFC showdown between the Bills and Jets. I'm also going to be touching on some of the key points I feel that the Jets need to hit on in order to win this game. And don't be mistaken, this is a must-win game. We have to win this game. We have to defend home turf.
You're going to get away with it. Not up in here.
Not up in here.
It is, for all intents and purposes, a must-win. Like, I don't see how we can rebound from this and make something out of this season if we don't win this game, especially coming off this week 1 loss, and the Bills coming off of that comeback fourth quarter victory. They're riding high. They have the confidence right now. We have to stop this freight train from going, and it's important that we stop it this Sunday at 1 o'clock at MetLife. So before I get into all my key points that I feel like the Jets need to do to win, I want you to remind you guys, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at my yesterday's video with the collaboration with Table Smashers. We called the segment the State of the AFC East, where we discussed what's going on with all the teams in the division. We just talk shit. It went very, very well. I hope you guys like it and enjoy it. It's going to be a weekly segment. I'm going to try to put it out every Wednesday, late Wednesday, or going into early Thursday. Yeah, it's just going to be two guys that love our teams, and we're just going to talk about the division that our teams are in. So let's get into it. First and foremost, this is something I brought up. The Bills have struggled when they've come to MetLife in recent history. We have won the last 2 out of 3. You know, the most recent one was not. It was a blowout win by the Bills. But going back to 2022 and 2023, we handled our business at home, and we've given Josh Allen fits. We've given him a hard time dealing with our defense. In the 2022 showdown, he left us with 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And then back in 2023, he had 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. So this is something I mentioned in yesterday's video to the Table Smashers guy. Yeah, he struggles when we're hosting him. For some reason, he has problems dealing with our defense. And I hope that trend continues, because we need this win. We cannot lose this. Like I said before, we have to defend our home. We have to. This is a huge must-win week for us. And just going back to what I said before, the Bills are riding high right now. Everybody thought they were done going into the fourth quarter against the Ravens. They pulled off a miraculous comeback. Josh Allen had an MVP performance, and they're riding high right now. They have the confidence going into the game. So I think it's imperative that the Jets make it a point that we do not allow the Bills to start out hot. We cannot allow them to get that momentum, put up big points early. If that happens, it's gonna spell disaster for us. We have to keep this game close. We can't allow them to run away with it. That's my first point, is that we have to keep this game close, and we cannot allow them to run away with this game early. So everybody knows the Jets' identity, and we saw that on display in week 1 against the Steelers, despite our loss. We're going to be a run-dominant team, and they're going to sprinkle in some passes. So my first key to the game is establishing a dominant run game, and that directly correlates to Breece Hall. I think he's going to be the key player to this game. If we can get him going, along with sprinkle in Braylon Allen, and then on top of that, we got Justin Fields' versatility. You know, if they can emulate what they did in week 1 on offense, even though if we don't put up that many points, 32 points, if we can emulate what we did on offense last week, I think we have a really, really good chance of winning this game. I like these early season matchups with these juggernaut teams, these top teams, where we can catch them sleeping. So until they get their feet underneath them, these are great opportunities to get a win for us. So, like I said, we have to dominate the run game, and that starts up front with our offensive line. It's going to be imperative that we neutralize their pass rush, first of all, because this is going to be another great matchup with our young offensive line. We're going to see what they could do against these crafty veterans. You got Bosa going up against Olu. And then on the other side, you got Membu going to be going up against Russo. Two dominant, pass rushers in this league. But then in the interior, I was worried about Ed Oliver. He's a great interior pass rusher, great run stuffer. But it's looking right now like he's out. It just dropped today. I think they said Ed Oliver is going to be out, or he's in a walking boot, or he's scooting around practice. I don't know what it is, or if it's just a ploy to throw us off. But yeah, it's going to be imperative that we dominate the line of scrimmage, because this is going to open up obviously our run game, but it's also going to open up our play action. So we're going to need a huge performance out of Breece Hall and company, Braylon Allen, sprinkle in Justin Fields, some read option plays, something like that. But yeah, Breece Hall's been exceptional when he has faced the Bills at home. He's had two games he's had at home. He's ran for over 100 yards. So we just don't need him to run for 100 yards. We need to run for like 150 yards, and sprinkle in some catches as well. I think he's going to be the key to the game, honestly, because with him, it's going to unlock all these other points I'm trying to make. Is if he's doing well and he's playing good, we're automatically going to have the time possession in our favor, and that's another key point to this game. We have to control the time possession. We have to keep that elite offense led by Josh Allen on the sidelines. Leave him cold, let him sit there. So if we can control the line of scrimmage, run the ball effectively, which ties into maintaining the clock and winning the time of possession battle, I think we're setting ourselves up to put ourselves in a good position to win this game. So quickly, like I touched on Ed Oliver, that's a major injury for them, and that was something that I didn't know about until today. So it should, in theory, help us run the ball even better. This is another good defensive line that we have to deal with, and like I said, I'm optimistic that our offensive line is going to be able to handle them. We handled the Pittsburgh Steelers front very well. Membu shined, and I look for him to continue that this week. Like I said before, Bosa is going to be challenging primarily Olu on the left, and Russo is going to be challenging our rookie right tackle Membu on the right. So great elite pass rushers, but guess what? If we're running the ball, it's going to mitigate that pass rush. It's going to make them hesitate and think about it. So Ed Oliver is looking like he's out. We're not 100% sure. And then potentially their cornerback, Tre'Davious White. I know I read today that he was back at practice today after missing 3 weeks with a groin injury. So would it help the Jets if he's not out there? 100%. That's one of the things I brought up yesterday. I think there's a lot of room for us to potentially impact the game by targeting their secondary. Their secondary is suspect to me at this point with their injuries. I know their rookie cornerback is out as well. So these are areas where we can attack. And, outside of Garrett Wilson, which we know he's going to ball out, we know he's going to give his all, and he should have a decent game. But he's also going to command a lot of double teams. So it's the guys that we don't often think about outside of our big three, Fields, Hall, and Wilson. Guys like Josh Reynolds, he has to step up. We need guys like this to step up. Our tight ends, Mason Taylor, which I saw today that he either missed practice or was limited in practice today. So I'm hoping that he can get healthy and be in the game, make an impact, because we're going to need these guys to help out and take some of the load off of Wilson and Breece Hall. So like I said, Reynolds needs to step up. Even our rookie Smith, wide receiver, if we can sprinkle him in, and even if it's just him taking off down the field on a streak route, just to keep their secondary honest and not crowd the box, to stuff our run game. Yeah, guys like that. Mason Taylor, our tight end, Jeremy Ruckert. These are guys that are going to have to step up and make an impact. Braylon Allen, when Breece Hall's out, I think he's going to have a big game as well. So, excuse me for that. I'm optimistic that some of these guys could step up and deliver in this game, because we're going to need everybody to help at this point. Everybody's going to have to be on board. We're going to need as much help as we get to get past these Bills. So, Tre'Davious White is looking like he might be a scratch just because he's coming back from being out for 3 weeks. And then also I saw today that the running back, James Cook, popped up on the injury list with a hamstring injury. So you never know with that. But I also, on the vice versa, the other side on our side, I saw that Sauce Gardner popped up on our injury list too as well. So I don't know if it's just tactics that they're playing right now, the teams are playing, but if James Cook's not there, even better for us. So another key player on the offensive side of the ball outside of Breece Hall, which I feel like is going to be the key player of the game. Obviously, the next guy up is going to be Justin Fields. If we can get another complimentary performance out of him like he had on Sunday, I think we're really set up to shock some people in this division. There's a lot of disrespect with the Jets, and I looked at the Pro Football Power Rankings. We're at number 27 or some garbage like that. Yeah, I don't understand some of these people. Like these mainstream people. I don't want to get into anything. Everybody knows what's going on in this world right now. The mainstream can go fuck themselves. Like, yeah, let me not digress too much, but yeah, Justin Fields we need to have another game just like he had against the Steelers. If we get that same performance out of him and our offense, I think we can win this game. And everybody's already writing us off. We have no chance this week, but I think 100% differently, and not just because I'm a delusional Jet fan. It's because what I've seen this past week on Sunday. We have the ability to be a very dynamic, well-balanced team on offense. So, yeah, Justin Fields, we need him to play just exactly like he did on Sunday. And this goes back to what I'm saying. Justin Fields had a great game. I want to see him be consistent now. Let's put a string of good games together. I think that's what's always been plaguing him. He'd have a good game and then regress. Good game, regress. I want to see him put it together. And I'm optimistic that he can. So my next point was, which I already pretty much touched on, was the time of possession. We have to control the clock and keep the Bills' offense off the field as much as possible. Keep Allen and the rest of those dudes sitting on the sideline cold and letting our fan base just rip them to shreds, piss them off, whatever. But that comes with us having to keep maintaining drives, converting third downs. It's all going to have to work together. Our rushing game, we're going to have to be able to convert. Justin Fields is going to be able to convert some tough third downs at sometimes. But maintaining these drives, just sapping the time, the clock off the time off. My goodness, the clock. Excuse me, man. I've had a long day. Yeah, time of possession. We have to win that by limiting the Bills' offense. And then another point that I have to make is We have to pressure. We have to be able to maintain pressure on Josh Allen. One, by keeping him off the field, and two, when he's on the field, he can't get comfortable. We cannot let him get comfortable. Our pass rush has to step up. We did very well against the Steelers last week. I think we had 4 or 5 sacks. We need another performance like that. But guess what? The Bills' offensive line is a lot better than the Steelers' offensive line. So we're going to need a big performance out of all of our front defensive linemen. And if they have to be sneaky and figure out some ways to throw some blitzes in there, and we have to make him uncomfortable because, like I said before, he's struggled when coming to a MetLife. And if we can get that pressure on him, have him throw some turnovers or not convert third downs, because that's something that he does very well. And that's something I've always noticed, that our defense has historically had a hard time getting off the field on third downs. And Josh Allen makes it even harder because he has that threat to run the ball and get out of the pocket if things get dicey. But that also goes to our defensive linemen maintaining their responsibility, their gap responsibilities, not letting this guy get outside. And tackles. We can't let him stiff arm and bounce off guys. We got our hands on, we got to bring him to the ground. Bring him to the ground hard. Make him think about what's going on. Put that pressure in his head. And he will turn the ball over. So, lastly, just really touch bases with the last thing I just brought up. We got to win the turnover battle. We cannot lose the turnover battle. We can't turn the ball over at all. We have to go into that game with the mindset we can't turn over the ball at all. Look what it did to us last week. Case in point. Things would have been totally different if we won that game. I can't believe we squandered that opportunity at home to win week 1 against our, Rodgers and the Steelers. We have to win the turnover battle. When I say that, I don't mean that we can turn the ball over once and let them turn the ball over twice. No, we can't turn the ball over at all. We're not built like that. We don't have that. We haven't seen that consistency out of the offense where we can see where we could rebound possibly. We have to have 0 turnovers on offense, and we have to force a turnover, at least one, out of the Bills. It's a daunting task to think about. We're already in a must-win game, as far as I'm concerned, but the AFC East, if we win week 2, it's going to shake things up, and I feel like we can really start making some momentum and build on this. But it starts Sunday, 1 o'clock. The Bills coming to us. We need to send Buffalo packing back to Buffalo.
You're going to get away with it. Not up in here.
Not up in here!
We cannot have no more stupid penalties, dumb turnovers. That needs to be eliminated. And our secondary needs to step up. This is going to be a game where the Bills are looking at the tape from week 1 against Steelers, and they're going to say, well, their secondary is a mess. They're going to go after us. They're going to go after the secondary. So hopefully Brandon Stevens and our safeties have figured it out this week, and we'll see hopefully we see a better product on the defensive side of the football. For us to say that as Jet fans, we always stand on our defense to keep us in games. Like I said, if we can have that same type of performance on the offensive side of the football, and we clean up even half of the garbage we had on the defensive side of the football, it should be a good win for us. And I already predicted it. I'm picking the Jets. Early season, we're at home. I feel like this year we're going to split with them. Jets 27, Bills 24. Anybody watching this, please like, share, and subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Please, I'm trying to build this channel. And as always, go Jets.